a few more things to take home for the audience. Would you recommend some genres? Because the way I see it is like we have this resource of the Android Play Store, and a lot of them are free. But it's hard to know which games are good and bad. But I want you to specifically say which games, but if you can't, just maybe talk about the genre.
Sure.
Maybe.
So here's the good news, which is that children are learning even through games that don't look particularly good. Although I think the games to avoid are the ones that you can tell are just drilling a child on, like memorizing the alphabet or memorizing colors. You know, children learn the alphabet and colors and numbers. They don't need an app to tell them that stuff. But among sort of more sophisticated games, the good news is if a game is actually challenging, the child is learning. And I think the major thing we can do is have conversations with the kids. So if a kid's playing Fortnite, sort of say, how did you learn how to do it? What was it like? How did you get better at it? Having those conversations with a kid will help them reflect on their own learning process. That said, so I mean, I think literally any good, challenging game, interesting learning is going on. That said, I think certain games, I think particularly sometimes puzzle games can be particularly good around mathematics. I think walking simulator games like Dear Esther, these are for older kids now, but are really games that get kids' imagination going in terms of storytelling. So I think with I think a game like FIFA World Soccer, kids actually doing a lot of strategic thinking, a lot of mathematical reasoning. That's the really critical thing for a parent if they're watching their kids play a game is to play with them and to talk about it, and particularly to talk about the stuff that what was hard and and how did you get better at that. And don't make it a chore for the child. Sort of. If they want to particularly talk about the stuff they want to talk about with the game, you know,
that comes back to the freedom of
that's right. That's right.
But that is very important because usually when we're parenting, we think of the children. You must study.
Yes.
Don't play. But now there is a way. But Mas Eko talks about this all the time. Like you can have this quality time when you're playing with your children, and you can see how they learn. You can really see that.
Right. And the good news is, as a parent, you don't have to worry that somehow you have to do it right. If you play with your child, if you talk to your child, a practiced educator might be really good at asking really good questions. Don't worry about it. Simply playing and talking with your child is sufficient. Over time, the more interested you are in what they're doing, the more you genuinely have questions about what they're doing, the more your conversation with that child is really reflective, the better. But don't worry about it. Because the minute you worry about it, it stops being, the spontaneity is gone.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
That's something that everyone can use.
Yes, I mean the good news for parents is it's not the best way to be a parent is to be yourself and to be present for your child. Sort of there's no sort of magic formula that only excellent parents do.
Be human.
Yes, be human. Exactly.
Thanks for that.